Hi, this is Sandra Champlain, author of the international best-selling book called We Don't Die, A Skeptic's Discovery of Life After Death. And I'm also the host of We Don't Die radio show, which now has almost 300 episodes of evidence of the afterlife. I'm here today to invite you to something very special, something that's never been done before. I am hosting We Don't Die Orlando at the beautiful Holiday Inn Resort Lake Buena Vista in Florida, very close to Disney World, the end of March. And I'd like you to join us. So here's some things about the event and why I created it. First, there is plenty of evidence on planet Earth that the afterlife is real. You may be someone like myself who got interested in and curious about, is there an afterlife after a death of a loved one? For me, I've had over 20 years journey into this question, and I've really come up with some remarkable things in that time. Not only has it comforted me, but it's really helped me through the grieving process, and it's helped me to live a better life. And I want to tell you something. It may seem hard to believe that the evidence is out there, but just over 100 years ago, there were a couple of fellas named Wilbur and Orville Wright who actually invented the flying machine. And many people in the world, including in the United States, thought they were hoaxes and frauds, and they didn't give them the time of day. They ended up going to France, doing their first worldwide public demonstration on this flying machine. And because of them, aviation was born, and we have air travel and so many things with commerce in the world. So why am I comparing this to the afterlife? Because it's now 2019, and I do believe there's plenty of evidence of the afterlife. Plenty of naysayers who haven't done the research, but I have done the research. So if you would like to join me for this special event, it will be held at, like I said, the Holiday Inn Lake Buena Vista. It will be March 29th through 31st. That's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can also add on a couple of workshop days, which I'll tell you about in just a minute. Let me tell you some of the speakers that I have coming and why I think you'd like to be there. First of all, our keynote speaker is Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer. He's written several books, and he knows a lot of evidence of the afterlife. He's going to do a keynote speech and talk to us about some of the myths of why people don't believe, some of the things that have happened long before we were born that really had people believe that the afterlife wasn't real. He'll also be discussing some of his findings of why it is. He is a very entertaining speaker, and I know you'll just love him. Also, on the Sunday night, just before the event concludes, Mark will be doing a mediumship demonstration, so you don't want to miss that for sure. Coming to us from Brazil, we have the scientist Sonia Rinaldi, who in her laboratory has been working with mostly grieving parents and has been recording the voices of deceased loved ones, deceased children for their parents. For the last 2 years, she has been working with technology and has been getting what's called trans images that are coming from the afterlife of children and adults alike. Her findings are absolutely amazing. She is a gift to planet Earth, and God bless her for coming from Brazil to be at the event. Scott Milligan is coming from the United Kingdom, and if you listen to We Don't Die Radio, you've heard me interview him about the extraordinary world of physical mediumship. It is very rare, and from what I've experienced, I believe he is a credible, wonderful, and right now the only tutor of physical mediumship in the world. During our event, he'll be giving a talk about physical mediumship, past, present, and future. He'll also be teaching and helping us discover how we can sit in our own power and blend with those in an altered state, those in the spirit world. He'll also be doing a trance question and answer demonstration. He will sit with his eyes closed for a little while, and in time his spirit friends will blend with him, and they will use his mouth, and they will talk to us. And so you can ask any question, and it's incredible. You will get goosebumps when you experience this. From California, William Peters will be with us. William is the founder of the Shared Crossings Project. He himself has had near-death experiences and also what's called shared death experiences. Now, what makes this interesting and why I invited him to be here is that it is possible to learn how to experience a shared crossing. So, whether it's for yourself or for a loved one, when that time draws close, we can, what happens is it takes away your fear of death, because you actually get to see something very beautiful, what it's like to, whether it's reach for the light or some loved ones that come through, you get to actually be part of the process of crossing over. So for me, seeing his presentation has taken away so much fear of the end of life, and he's just a wonderful guy, and it was a great presentation. Well, from Scotland, I have Kerry, McLeod, and Philip Dykes, and they are the founders and tutors of the Spirit and Soul Foundation. If you listen to my show, I say, oh, we are souls having a human experience. Well, what does that mean? Well, as souls, we have psychic powers, we have mediumistic powers that are our God-given birthright. So they will be with us and doing a demonstration on mediumship, which will bring in a lot of laughs, I can guarantee you that. And then also, they'll be touching on our own psychic abilities and what it is to develop them. Now, I mentioned a little bit previously about workshops. If you want to travel a day early and stay a day late, on the Thursday and Monday, both Scott Milligan and Kerry and Phil will be doing workshops. So before I get to the other speakers, let me just give you a little brief infomercial about that. There's a huge power that arises when we can, I'm talking about Scott now, sit in a darkened room and learn how to blend with our own spirit team. It gets us into the present moment. It really builds up all of our psychic faculties. And I know I'm someone who has studied with Scott, as are many that are coming to this, and wouldn't want to miss it, because it's a really special time to quiet down your mind and really get connected to the unseen world. It's just fantastic. And then also, Phil Dykes and Kerry McLeod from the Spirit and Soul Foundation, they will be giving us an experiential workshop on how to develop our psychic faculty. And with that, how to now discover mediumship. And like I said before, I'm the first to admit I never thought I had any abilities. And after I was able to tell people the deceased loved ones around them and be correct, I thought, if I can do this, everyone can. But there's a way to do it, and there's a way to do it that's has integrity and really builds a foundation for you to know that you are a soul having a human experience, that you do have these powers within you. So they will be sharing the workshop space over the 2 days, and we could definitely, you can scroll down on this page and find out more about the workshops. So back to our list of great guests from New York, we have Sheri, Perl. Sheri is someone who I know is probably the best teacher of electronic voice phenomena that we have currently on planet Earth. She herself has received thousands of recordings of loved ones using a tape recorder, digital tape recorder, and she teaches it. She's also someone who has experienced healing, and we'll be talking about healing, the power of healing as to who we are. And anyways, if you want to know more about EVP and healing, Sheri Perl will be there. From Boston, Stephen Masek, who is known as Stephen the Medium, and he's really a great up-and-coming medium, a great guy, and you'll enjoy him. From Spain, Arizona Bell is coming. Arizona is a certified grief coach, and she's also the co-founder of Spirit Guides Magazine and Spirit Guides Radio. A lot of us are experiencing grief as part of being on our afterlife research. So to hear some information about comforting the pain of grief, some tools to move through the grieving process, I just know that will really help. Also, this is great. And Jennifer Brazier and Chris Fitting are coming from Washington State. They're both mediums, but there's something special about them. They will be working together on stage. Jennifer doing the medium readings, working the audience and telling who the deceased loved ones are, and working with people in the audience. Chris is called the Spirit Illustrator. So what Chris does is also a medium, but as Jennifer will be bringing in the loved ones, Chris will have his notepad and he will be sketching pictures. So they are absolutely fantastic. And between now and then, I wouldn't be surprised if we have some more special guests, but that's who's on the roster right now. The event will be held at the Holiday Inn Resort, Lake Buena Vista. It is, like I said, very close to Disney World. The resort is giving us a very special price of $109 per night per room. Now, if you look on the internet at other sites, you may see lower prices. However, the hotel is waiving the $21.95 resort fee that it charges other guests. So that's great. And when you go to the website, you can scroll down and click on it. Or if you call, what's important is that you mention that you're part of We Don't Die, the We Don't Die group. Also, in the group code, make sure you put in WDD. Meals are not included at this program because there are a ton of restaurants in the area. In fact, just across the street, there is a grocery store, there is fast food restaurants, there's a Subway, a Burger King, a Chick-fil-A. If you walk just to the left, there is a 7-Eleven that has sandwiches and snacks and things. A little further off to the left is a Starbucks. And right on the hotel premises, there is an Applebee's, which does serve breakfast as well as lunch and dinner. If you're a guest of the We Don't Die Orlando conference, and when you check in, if you would like to buy some vouchers for breakfast, it would be just $10 per person. Normally, I think it's $14 per person. And you can get some breakfast vouchers. They have a big hot breakfast buffet happening there. So Applebee's is right on premises. And if you take a right out of the hotel, just next door, there is a Saltgrass Steakhouse, Landry Seafood, Bahama Breeze Restaurant, and BJ's Restaurant and Brew House, all within walking distance. And the hotel itself has a little market, so there's so much to choose from. And there you go. How does one get to We Don't Die Orlando? Well, the Holiday Inn Resort is located at 13351 State Road 535 in Orlando, Florida. The closest airport is Orlando International Airport, and it's about a 20-minute drive from the airport to the resort. Many people are getting rental cars, which is great because then you can leave us and spend some vacation days seeing SeaWorld or Disney World or wherever you want to go. But if you don't wish to get a car, what I recommend is taking what's called the Super Shuttle. It is a shuttle that you can organize ahead of time, and it's only $20 to get yourself to the resort. You do have to book it ahead of time, and if you scroll below, you'll see the website and the discount code, which will give you a couple dollars off. That always helps. So just in closing this, I really want you to come. I do believe when we believe, know, have faith in the afterlife, we live a completely different kind of life. We know that our loved ones are around. We know that our life is important, and it does really help the grieving process. So we're here. If you want to share this, WeDon'tDieOrlando.com is this website. I do imagine this is going to fill up pretty quickly. So if it's something that interests you, please feel free to register. If you have any questions, you can email me at sandrachamplain@gmail.com. And once again, when you scroll down, you have a couple different, actually 3 different choices of pricing. You can attend just the 3 days, which is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And as a little extra gift, we're going to do a welcome reception on the Thursday night from 7 to 9 p.m. with some complimentary snacks there. There is a cash bar, so you can buy your own drinks. And then that's one thing. There is also the 5-day program, which will go from Thursday, will be your workshops with Scott Milligan, Kerry, McLeod, and Philip Dykes. And then you'll experience the 3 days of the We Don't Die Orlando conference. And then the last day, the Monday, you'll also spend that day with Scott, Phil, and Kerry. And yeah, I think that's it for that. Now, the third choice is if you're someone who's in Orlando who doesn't have the time to go to the whole event or any of the event, but really is interested in a great mediumship demonstration. The psychic lawyer, Mark Anthony, is going to be doing an evening of mediumship. There, I got that right. And if you just want to come to that, you're more than welcome to. So once again, this is Sandra Champlain, and I thank you for taking the time. And won't you please join us at We Don't Die Orlando. Thanks for watching.